around to watch for the moves. They're not hard to find. Strong arm tactics so loud, only themselves in mind. Every player has dreams of making ORCA fame. They'll live on in the minds of those who get in their way. ORCAs all say, don't come for me. Mid-merge boots, they're so vain. As we set up the podcast webcam, the pod is here to talk ORCA game. ORCA King CK with delusions of fame. In this LRG world, he's the apex predator. Dani and Jules in tow, always ready to go. Now it's time for the show. They're the apex predators.
Hello and welcome to the Night of Nights for the ORCA Pod, the Apex Predators of Australian Survivor, LRG podcasting. Here we are with the most important night of somebody's life. One of the participants that received Brommies from Canberra Survivor 4 are about to have their life changed. They will now define their life by this milestone. There was the time that they were pre-ORCA, and there is the time that they were ORCA, officially recognized as such. There is no more important moment in a person's life than this defining milestone in their journey through their time on the cosmos. This will be etched in their gravestone. It will be spoken about for eons, and only one special person from this season will achieve that outcome. Welcome to the ORCA Pod, the Apex Predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting, and to the Night of Nights for Canberra Survivor 4. I am, of course, CK, and what is more ORCA than a tuxedo and a cowboy hat? Well, maybe my fellow ORCA ending her reign tonight as the most current ORCA in Australian LRGs, but I'm sure she's happy to welcome someone else to the Congress. Let me get a drum roll going. Welcome. Okay.
Yeah, it's Night of Nights.
The Night of Nights. Very excited to be here. It's late. We know this, but you know, ORCA's got an ORCA, and we wanted to make it sure that people could be available should they win the nominees, etc. I've been doing a little bit of homework, Dani, over the last
homework. It's very scribe-like of you.
Once upon a time, these Brommies were not the thing that we once considered. We sort of started handing them out in Canberra 3 for the ORCA of the week. We forgot to do it more times than we actually did it because it was a bit of a meaningless throwaway. But then we determined during Uncharted Waters that to be eligible for the Bromley medal, to be ORCA of the season, you must have a Brommy nomination. And since then, we've religiously been handing them out. And I felt that it was only appropriate that I retrospectively, now that these Brommies are so valued, everyone wants Brommies. It's been the common chat throughout the entire Canberra season and Sydney as well about people pushing for the Brommy, wanting the Brommy, wanting a Brommy. Derek seemed more devastated that he finished the season without a Brommy than the fact he'd gotten voted out in the episode we covered. Aston himself, devastated. We're
Brommy, devastated. We're more devastated than Aston, I think, is that he didn't get a Brommy.
So I had to retrospectively go and apply Brommies to all of the prior seasons for which we hadn't done it. I've gone and done that. And this will give us great Brommy tallies for relevance, especially as seasons bring in more returning players. People are going to want to know who are the Brommiest Brommies and who are the Brommiest Brommies to not win Bromelos. These are incredibly important stats. So I'm going to just do a quick, I won't do everything. We're here, it's Canberra. I'm going to let you know who had the Brommies in the prior Canberra seasons, quick rundown. And then when we do other coverage, we can cover other seasons. Canberra 1, I've got a reason, I've got an app. I'll run through it quickly. You ready for it?
Let's do it.
Ep 1, Season 1. Emily grabs the idol, pretends pretends it's for the tribe, doesn't play it, gets booted. Very Orca. Episode 2 is Ash. It's confessional stuff. She says one vote into her first game, which she wasn't a part of, and she's bored. Episode 3 is Aston. Here is Aston's final. He's got it retrospectively. There you go, Aston. For episode 3, you're running the tribe, you throw the challenge, and you get booted. Nothing like throwing a challenge and getting booted. Ep 4, Keegan throws the challenge, gets Rose booted. Liking these challenge throws, I think it's very Orca.
Very Orca.
Episode 5 is actually the runner-up in the Orca of Canberra 1. It's Isaac, and of course, it's for getting drunk and never coming back. What a wild man he was. Episode 6 is of course the Orca of that season. Dom, I've just written croissants. Episode 7 was Brad for when he pushed Keegan over to get that advantage. Like literally just fought not just strong-armed him verbally, but physically strong-armed him. And there wasn't even an advantage there. The bronze medalist is in episode 8. Alex, there's a bit of a body of work. Orca, Ep 9, Ben, body of work, and episode 10, Hoppo, body of work. I'm now into season 2, where of course the aforementioned King of the Orcas, the original Apex Predator, James Wolfe, debuted. Ep 1 is James takes full control, decides the vote. Ep 2 is Ma, Strong's arms the vote onto Grace, and the infamous drowned in the Mexican wave confessional.
Yes.
Ep 3 going to Anna for her secret voting of Mel and just relishing the constant Mel voting. Ep 4 is James, another Apex Predator confessional, and he calls the others Plankton, and then he just dominates the challenge. Episode 5, I've given to Banfield, and I've got a soft spot about Banfield, but I'll never forget the Banfield v Banfield, Blake lies saga, and how this guy just worked himself up into a complete mess about nothing. Ep 6 goes back to James Wolfe, plays too hard, immunity, elite confessionals, shouts his good plan in Anna's face, and even though it's a good plan, she refuses to do it because he's shouting in her face about it. Look, Ep 7 could also be James. He does go out pretty hard at this episode. It's his boot. But, I feel like if we were doing it in the real time, he already had 3, and I reckon would give it to Sophie for calling him a flog to his face. No offense.
Probably. Yeah, I would have enjoyed that.
You're a flog. No offense. Offense is intended. So, Sophie, there's one for you. The bronze medalist, there's 2 bronze medalists in this, both Anna and Nick. I give Nick on the episode 8 one for his dinky vote on Sophie. That he's never going to tell her about, that does tell her about for no reason whatsoever. Very awkward behavior. 9 is Mel for a bit of a body work and misnaming Anna the whole game. And Ep 10, Ma, who had the second one. She's second place for Orca in this season. Just dominates the game, body work, etc. Season 3, which we roughly did do, and I won't give you the reasons because we did do this from time to time, but it was Eden, then Andrew, Maddie. So Maddie has been an Orca Brommy in 2 different seasons now. That's one we actually gave out as well. That's not one of my retrospective ones.
Yeah.
So 2 times Maddie has received Brommies in 2 different seasons. John, Loz, John, Andrew, Oscar, Loz, Pauline, and Oscar. So those are the retrospective Brommies. I might post this information on our socials for those keen to follow it all. You can follow what the retrospective Canberra Brommies are. But the Brommy stats are alive and well and growing. And as is the Congress, and the pod will be growing this evening. Dani, I believe you have, at my request, prepared a wonderful PowerPoint / slide.
I did. I love a PowerPoint. I love Canva. So let's, ta-da! Crowning of the Orca.
Is this Maddie clapping for the Brommy I just gave her retrospectively? I think
no,
it
she
is.
was, because she put that beforehand.
Well, she should be clapping for giving it to her retrospectively. Oh, it was exciting. Yeah, there's visuals. This is
yeah. We're deep diving. We're getting into it. We got crowned Orcas. We have the actual Orcas on their thrones. It's all happening.
So we're going to run through each of the Brommy nominees and talk about their case. We've got an overview here. 8 different contestants received Brommy noms. I think it's 4 that had multiple nominations. Dani, I apologize. I think we might be after there.
Okay. Oh.
And 5 plus Congress voters. There are, in fact, this was, I must say, the most active the Congress has been in any voting we've ever done. Look, a lot of the Congress are Orcas, as you'd expect, and they don't watch LRG seasons that they weren't a part of. They only watched what they were there for. But I must say, I got votes in this season. This was a very watched season. I got votes from, give me a second, from Dani, from myself, from Jules, obviously. Josh O'Brien, not surprising. He's always up with what's going on. Dom, he might have been there. He's a Canberra alum. Loz, Canberra alum. She was there. Ethan was there as well, hence his vote. James Wolfe, Canberra alum. Calvin tuned in all the way from Perth to put in votes. And Tyler, fresh off being on maternity leave and nursing a baby, had time to binge watch this season purely so she could vote in the ORCAs. I don't know if Tyler's watched an LRG that wasn't Brisbane. I don't even know if she watched Brisbane, but now she's binge watching them all.
Amazing. We love the commitment.
Exercising. She's presently binging Sydney, knowing that she'll be able to vote on that shortly. So she's very excited about,
I love it. We love active ORCAs. Thank you to the Congress.
And to Nathaniel for being born to give her time to sit around and watch LRGs.
Correct. Yes. Our littlest member of the pod. All right. We're going to get into. All right. First up. Are we ready? Anthea.
So we're going to talk about these people. We've drawn straws to who's going to talk about them. You've already given a little quote there, which is quite good.
I've done little blurbs for everybody, so
I know it's very impressive. She was nominated episodes 1 and 4. Anthea is not a player that we would have expected to be high in the ORCA ranks from her first season. And I think it does somewhat speak to the nature of Canberra editing, which we've discussed, which is that it does tend to highlight the best of people and doesn't want to highlight the over-the-top caricature behavior that we sometimes ascribe and prefer to see from ORCAs. So sometimes we need to look in other places. And Anthea, what she demonstrated, I don't think anyone would assert that she's narcissistic.
No.
But I think she, and even Loud and Proud is probably a borderline item. But what we really saw from her and the episodes for where she received these nominations was just really strong arming tactics with her alliance. She built these alliances, she managed them, and she was strong in her will about what they should be doing. And these weren't alliances of pushovers. This was Will, the ultimate winner of the game, Derek, the post-merge Uber threat, Ben, the early ORCA crazy guy that we adored and burned out too quickly. I think in particular, episode 4, she took the desperation station advantage and caused Adele to spiral into madness about split votes and would Anthea have a vote and all that sort of business. Real strong arming game. Will was a very deserving winner, but Anthea certainly would have been a well-deserving winner in her own right. So we'll see tonight if she can take out the Bromelo medal in not consolation because it's better than winning the game, but as an improvement on the loss she made at Final Triple Counts.
As two people who've never won the game, absolutely. All right, Ben, one of your favorites.
You haven't ordered this in a way that we alternate, but that's fine.
No, I've done it in their episode combinations.
I love your little blurb here. It's really fantastic. Ben shone brightly, shone fast, shone bright, and burnt out incredibly quickly. What this man could have been if he'd gone on a run. I think there's the potential his confessionals and his behavior could have eclipsed that of former ORCA of the season, James Wolfe. He was on a trajectory to hit new heights. His confessionals started out with just absolute gold, self-aggrandizing, close-up magician, and there was something else. It was just unbelievably good. Making fake idols. If only he'd played it better, he could have gone on the most incredible run of of all time. He could have got saved by Will. He could have mutinied. He could have used the desperation station. If he'd played this effectively, he could have been in the merge with Mushy's resume, right? And like he could have had Mushy's story, but I can tell you what, if he had Mushy's story, he wouldn't have Mushy's humility about it. No. His head would have exploded in ego excitement. The confessionals would have got out of control if that had been his journey. So it's a little bit of a, miss on what we could have got if he was having that experience. But we did love what we saw for the time he was in the game.
And if he got to that point, people are going to keep him around as a shield. Like, so he's going to get kept if he gets to that point in the game, because people are like, he's going to be available at any point in time. So what could have been?
And he becomes one of those people that at the end, sure, he's got an impressive game, and you might want to vote for it because it's an impressive game, but you do it begrudgingly because he's been so in your face about how good he was. This is what we're talking about with Sydney's Survivor. And I haven't seen the finale, but going into the finale, so no spoils in the chat about the finale, but that if Mac made the final three, people rate the game, but do they want to vote for him? I think Ben could have even made the end, because I don't think he would be, while the game would speak for itself, him speaking for himself would actually make people not vote for him.
Agreed. All right. Bree, we originally nominated her for her body of work. Her confessionals were full of expletives, full of frustration, just queen of my own heart with the way that she spoke. She wasn't there for anybody's bullshit. And then her defensive desperation station strategy, where she held it. She stopped anybody else from getting it. Very bold, in-your-face strategy. What do we say here? Strategic, adaptable, and unwavering, and a commitment to deploying the word fuck with impeccable timing.
She was a bit of a slow burn.
Yes.
In that we were kept saying, oh, we want to give it to Bree. She's done this one thing. She's done this other thing. She did say to me before she got a few brommies, there were certain confessionals that she was disappointed that Dan didn't put in the season, because they would have certainly gathered her some more brommy love, maybe some more brommy episodes. It's the sort of stuff that, she was happy to have published, but it's the sort of stuff that Dan, if he looks at it and errs on the side of caution, prefers not to publish on his edits about his confessionals, whether it's the story he wants to tell, whether it's the style, maybe the family-friendly style of Canberra, or just, he doesn't want to paint anyone in a negative way, and he'd give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they don't want these things being said on live recorded camera for the rest of their lives. But Bree, on this occasion, said some of the things she did and said she would have liked to have in there. I think as the season rolled on, we did get to see a lot more of that. I think we also need to specifically talk to probably her moment of the entire game. I think it's episode 10, which is flagged there, where she absolutely dominated and orca'd out on the desperation station advantage.
Didn't take it, but defended it with her life until she was ready. She wanted to hear everybody's pitch. She's like, you tell me all the things that you think about why I should hang around before, but she wouldn't let anybody take it before she had heard everybody pitch their ideas to them. It was very
awkward. And then she boss bitched that challenge. No one could do the challenge. No one.
Only one to get it.
Bree is a maths genius to boot.
We love it. We love it. All right. Mars, a pseudo returnee, so we were all very excited to see his game again. We'd seen his ORCA. He's more ORCA light in Melbourne in comparison to this,
he did not have a single brommy in Melbourne.
Well, I mean, when you're paired next to Ash, it's hard.
And you
to get a brommy nom when you're.
And you and Jules and Hannah and Greg, like the brommy episodes it was very hard to get a brommy in uncharted waters.
But we saw the ego. It was ORCA light, and there's nothing that brings out an ORCA more than playing from the bottom. He was ready to come in. He was ready to cause chaos. I mean, how do we not highlight the mutiny episode? He played that brilliantly. He perfected his timing. When he left his tribe, he said, "Hold this," while giving him his flag and like peaced out. It was just.
It was hold this, losers. I'm going shopping.
Yeah, it was like he said, "Hold this," and the losers was implied.
It was implied, and then the clueless reference was also implied. But that's what I could get it. I was getting it as we went. I know that's get in losers or whatever. Hold this, losers. I'm going shopping.
I'll get in, Luke. That's Mean Girls. Yeah.
Get in, Mean Girls. What's the clueless one?
I don't know. Mean Girls is get in, losers. We're going shopping.
Okay, well that's what I'm going for. We're going to keep rolling on this. We'll just manage the pace a little bit. We're like a rocket ship launching. Let's go to the next one.
Maddie.
Are you doing Maddie? Now, unlike Mars, Maddie is a former Brommy nominee who came in, and if I check out the stats on this, everyone loves a good stat. I haven't got all things, but could you guess, Dani, how many people, noting that I haven't done backyard for, but I think so. How many people do you think have Brommies in more than one season that they appeared?
3.
Oh, it's a lot more than that. It's actually up to 8. But it's still a huge alumni. Mars played in 2 seasons. Did not get any Brommies in that other episode in the first time he played. So I can tell you, Calvin of Backyard 1 and Melbourne 2, Andrew of Backyard 3 and Canberra 3, yourself, Dani, for both Sydney and Uncharted Waters, Ash for Uncharted Waters and Canberra 1. Nat, Nat's quite amazing. Nat's only ever been in 2, officially she's only ever been in 2 episodes of actual Survivor games, but she has 3 Brommies. That's the power of
Can you imagine how many Brommy noms she would have had she ever gotten further in a season, and how you could not possibly give anybody else the Orca but Nat if she'd been there for more than that? It'd be impossible for anybody to win against her.
Keegan as well for Canberra 1 and Backyard 2. And I do think when I do it eventually, Tara is probably going to pick up at least 1 in Backyard 5, as I think Mel could. So, there is a lot of people that have done it, but there's people that haven't done it. Ma only got them in her second time around. Ma only got them in their second time around. John has never got a Brommy nom, despite being... John's probably like the most episodes to non-Brom ratio. He's been a lot of tribal councils.
He's one of those players who's just not Orca.
He's won the game.
He doesn't have but he's a brilliant strategist and a people person, but he's not an Orca.
And if you came into this
not
season,
everybody can be.
And if you came into this season asking me which returnee is going to be able to get a second Brommy from this season, the only people eligible for that, now that I've retrospectively done it, was Maddie and Aston. And if you I could definitely see it be Maddie, but I would have put the money on Aston. But Maddie came in and just 100%. Different energy this time.
100%. From the get-go, girl was chaos. And I think that was, I don't know how many times we said that word, from woe to go, when it came to Maddie and her gameplay. She span off her top at every section. She talked to everybody in the most frantic of places. Throwing people's names out. We had her, when we had her on, she was telling us how it was it the mushy vote? Where they were walking to tribal council and she was saying to someone, so the vote's mushy, right? Really loudly with Mushy right behind her. And Mushy's like, I can hear you. Like, she just, chaos from woe to go, bold in her strategy, in your face, loud and proud. Like, she was just spinning off her top. And I'm surprised we didn't get more nominations from her, for her, considering the cast that we have, but a well-deserved Brommy nom.
I think it ended up being that her level was just here all the time, like chaos and certainly loud and proud here all the time or every time. And, sometimes someone else would just pop up with something that was maybe a little bit more narcissistic or strong arming, and they hadn't got one. Or there's a real spread of Brommies, as you mentioned at the opening graphic. There's 8 different of an 18-person cast. 8 of them received a Brommy. So I think it was just hard. What she gave was consistent, but it wasn't always standing above perhaps 1 or 2 other things that were occurring while she was in the game.
Consistent chaos was Maddie.
So look, if at the start of the game you told me that Mushy was going to be one of the Brommy nominees and that I was actually going to be the person who pushed for Mushy to get it in episode 8, I would have said, that's some crazy talk. What are you talking about? She's going to get voted out when she stuffs up that challenge on the first ep. But apparently that didn't happen. Look, people, I love when we watch LRGs and we see people grow into themselves in the game. They find parts of themselves they didn't know they had, or they find a depth, a level, a style that they didn't know they could do. And Mushy came into this game and performed in a way that is you very much expected from her intro video, that she was going to be quiet, that she was going to be quietly strategic, look for the right social alliances, use those to her advantage, like good gameplay. And she did do that and was a name on everyone's lips for most of the pre-merge. Part of that was you a bad swap, of course, but she was also a target in the earlier votes, the Simon vote, and the who was booted first? Help me.
Jasmine.
And the Jasmine vote. She was a target there for both of those. So her name was always a target. But when she got to, I think she played the swap with a real I don't give a fuck attitude that I think really resonated with the people she was playing with. People like Bree, people like Aston, and even Jordan, who then thought that voting out Rose was a better choice than her, which was obviously a critical point. By the time she got to the merge, a new Mushy had arisen, a Mushy that was confident and domineering and started trying to strong arm her way through the game. Of course, the problem being is at this point, when she discovered this power and this confidence, everyone else realized the incredible story she has, the danger she was, and she had to go.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And to just like, I'm always saying, like, you know, she was nominated for strong arming. I don't even necessarily know for strong arming. She just refused to be moved. Once she'd made her mind up, there was no wishy-washing about it. Whereas most people were running around, she was just like, "No, this is what I'm going to do." And everyone just moved around her.
Yeah, extreme level of stubbornness, which I think can be a facet of strong arming, especially when it's effective.
100%, 100%.
It's a bit narcissistic to be that stubborn as well. So I can see why we went.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Janine,
look, this one came out of a bit of a nowhere with the Brommy nom, because we were in the thing of trying to come up with one, who we're going to do. And there was a bit of throws from the chat, maybe Derek, suggesting, or Will, that Janine would be a good option just because of how belligerent she was at this final 11 position, just unwilling to play anyone else's game. I think she had an awareness that maybe she didn't have a game that was right there for herself, and just said, you know what, fuck it, let's I'm just going to do what I want when I want, and it's what she did the whole game, to be perfectly frank.
100%.
She could not be moved. Which about Mushy not being moved? She couldn't be moved, and except she would be a bit more like, no, she would be like, no,
I don't do that.
no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's probably a good game move, but no, I don't like that. Don't want to. Very hard to play with that.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why I think at that point she got the nom, because it was just like, again, we're in the love with the stubborn women who refuse to do what everyone wanted them to do.
I don't know if we'll ever get Janine back. She didn't get a Brommy her first time around, so I'm glad she got one this one. Congratulations, Janine.
Kudos, Janine. And then Natalie, again, actually. At the start of the season, before we saw the game play out, I could have foreseen Natalie getting a Brommy just based off her Meet the Cast video. She was mum. She was a little spicy in her confessional, like in her Meet the Cast a little bit. She talked about what a strong woman she is, how she's kind of keen to come out and be something outside of being on mat leave with her little one. So I could have foreseen this, but the way the game panned out, I didn't then ever think that would be something that would happen. We nominated Nat in the final episode just for her, again, strong arming of the game that she wanted to go. She forced fire for no reason because she wanted to.
She wanted to, just for the hell of it. And fair enough. Now, I don't think you should click the next slide because from memory it has the winner.
It is.
So
yes.
I will go through the voting and how the votes came out, giving your ordering. I might just remove this for the moment, but I know you have something else to put up. So as I said, an outstanding assembly of the Congress. Many ORCAs have watched this season and felt the need to contribute votes. I'll say the judges again: Dani, myself, Jules, Josh, O'Brien, Dom, Tyler, Loz, Calvin, James, as in James Wolfe, and Ethan, the namesake of the Bromelo medal, which one of these 8 people will be putting on their neck virtually this evening and in real life at one of the ORCA drinks at some point in the future. As I said at the start, I'm sure they're waiting with bated breath because you have in your life the time you were pre-ORCA and then the time you were ORCA. And frankly, that second half of your life is just infinitely superior in every way. I'm sure you can attest to this, Dani.
My life has forever changed. Thank you so much.
You don't need to thank me. You should only thank yourself. The only reason you're an ORCA is
I thank me so much. I changed my life forever by my own ORCA behavior. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Okay, so look, some people didn't get any votes from the judges. But people say you're happy to be nominated, and honestly, you should be happy to be nominated. Hundreds of people have played LRGs, and only a small group of those have received nominations, which I've now retrospectively done. So to be nominated is special in itself. Ultimately, though, Mushy and Janine could not garner any votes from the panel. Natalie comes in next. She received 2 votes. And then in the next position is Anthea, sadly coming up short once again. This time she got 4 votes. I think it puts her in 5th. But, a game well played, almost winning Final Tribal Council, 2 Brommies, and, receiving votes. Not everyone gets votes in this tally. Certainly is an impressive feat. In 4th place, I think he's going to be a little bit sad about this. I think he hoped for more. It's the God of War, Mars, coming in the 4th place.
I was surprised by this outcome.
Yeah. Look, he was on the Tea Party. You think that at least makes you top 3, but he couldn't pull it out. 6 votes for him. Next, as we head to the podium, it was Ben with 10 points. I think Ben could have got a lot more.
Impressive for the amount of episodes he's in.
And if he'd gone a lot longer, this might be no question. It might have been a runaway for Ben had he gone on longer in the season. So that comes down to between silver and gold is Maddie and Bree. I can tell you,
women ORCAs. I'm obsessed.
More women ORCAs. It's fantastic.
What we're gonna have to do the split very soon because I think the women are about to take over and the orca male versus female.
Here at the Congress of the Orcas, gender equality is one of our most important core tenets, but we don't have any affirmative action for it. It's just got to happen organically, and
Right.
I'm loving that it is happening organically with many other women coming through. So it's definitely a woman again, and I can confirm that one of these people received 12 votes, and one of these women received 21 votes. So it was quite a landslide in the end. Let me welcome the ORCA of Canberra, Mount Majura. Pausing for dramatic effect. Pausing while I find the drum roll. And another one. And another one.
Just bring her in.
Your heart's beating. Welcome, Bree. Congratulations. You are the ORCA, Mount Majura.
So that's why you were so insistent on getting me on this episode. It all makes sense now.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Of
We
course.
had to have you.
Yay! Yeah, I mean, what a landslide win. Well done.
I mean, look, I didn't win, but I won the ORCA, so that's all that matters, right?
Absolutely. Welcome to the Congress.
Welcome to the Congress. You now get to vote on who joins the Congress. Who else deserves to be ORCA? And look, frankly, Bree, I didn't tell the meeting story earlier. You said, please don't do this to me, CK. And maybe I won't tell the full story either. But I must say, from the moment I met Bree when did I play? When was Playing with Fire? 2020 or something?
2021.
21. So from 5.5 years ago, when I rocked up to Playing with Fire.
My damn car, I swear to God.
And Melbourne is amazing. I'm so glad that I got my start and am able to be a part of the Melbourne Survivor community. But sometimes organisation is not their strength. And I think they had a lot of things they had to get ready for the game on that day. And they ended up having the entire cast, all 16 of us, sit there in the same location in what was supposed to be silence for a good 2 to 3 hours, right?
Truly horrendous.
And unlike the Sydney Survivor 2 people, we kept our mouths shut. But the way they managed to ensure that we kept our mouths shut is they gave us this wonderful young girl who babysat us and told her entire insane life love story. And
I've heard it since then. It's fantastic.
It was made all the better that we could speak to her. We just couldn't speak to each other. So Annabelle was giving her tremendous amounts of shit as the conversation continued. And so this was my first encounter. And honestly, if the ORC concept existed then, which it did not, but I'm sure somewhere in the back of my head, I was conjuring this idea. And I'm like, this woman has extreme ORCA potential, and that potential has finally been realized today, 5 years later.
Yay!
Look, sometimes people play it up for the cameras, and sometimes people are just naturally ORCAs. What can I say?
Yes, you are absolutely naturally ORCA, 100%. Do you have any other comment? Oh yes, we'll get it down graphic. Here we go. There you are.
Yes, put that crown on.
Yeah.
Actually, send me that picture, Dani, and we can make a Facebook post about it to congratulate Bree on her success. It is true success. Do you have any words for the audience, for your fellow players, for the Congress, for yourself?
I guess I'll say thanks to the cast because, you know, a game can't happen without a cast. But more genuinely, this particular cast allowed me to be 100% myself. And I think this wouldn't have happened if it weren't for that. So greatly appreciated, but also throw it out to the hosts. And also,
I mean, y'all know me by now. I've got way too many freaking friends in this community. So being surrounded by so many lovely, wonderful people that I've known for so long just, once again, allows me to be myself, which I know in other aspects of my life I can't necessarily do. So to be able to do that, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love that. I love that you were able to be authentically yourself. And sometimes fate comes into it a little bit. I believe we really tried to get you to play Uncharted Waters and you had some sort of clash. And you know, had you played that, would you be the Orca? Maybe, but that's tough. Like there was a lot of
Orca characters that season.
Yeah.
So it would be so interesting if like it was you and Tyrone in that cast plus us. It would
mayhem.
Oh my goodness.
But no, those are some beautiful words, Brie, about the positivity of Orcaness as well as the positivity of the entire LRG community. I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to finally play and then, as you say, to be yourself fully and to show us that, which is obviously well loved by many people and by the community at large. So thank you again for being yourself and welcome to the most important and exclusive club of all time.
Woo!
Woo!
Congrats, Brie. Well done.
Do I get to dance with y'all?
All right. Yes. Well, we can finish the show. I'll do a little roundup and then we will dance with Brie. Absolutely. So for those tuning in, the Sydney Survivor finale aired sometime tonight. Eventually,
I don't know if it's going up. Let me check if it's going.
There's some sort of YouTube issue. It'll air at some point, and then we'll be covering the finale for Sydney Survivor next.
It's up. Went up 41 minutes ago. Go watch.
We'll be covering it next Monday. Exit interviews, and then interviews. Throughout we'll have interviews with Thing and the Tea Party, and then we will crown another Orca in such quick succession. Brie, get ready to vote on that. But if you are in Melbourne on the 1st of August, so a week and a half, make sure you're at the Orca Drinks. It's Orca Drinks. It's the Uncharted Waters live reunion, and we will be placing Bromelo medals around the necks. The very medal, there's an actual medal that you will receive at some point, Brie. And we're putting these actual medals around the neck of myself, of Dani, of Loz, and maybe James Wolfe says he's a 50-50. So let's hope he can get there and we can hand out these medals to our well-deserved people. And if you're in Melbourne, the drinks are on CK. It's 2 p.m. somewhere, Fitzroy somewhere. Look it up in the event.
The Clyde Hotel.
The Clyde Hotel in Fitzroy. Be there if you're in Melbourne. What else are you doing on your Saturday afternoon? But sadly, you're there. You're going to be in Melbourne, Brie, aren't you? But you are.
I'm in Melbourne, but I'm at a particular hotel in St Kilda for a bridal shower. So unfortunately, no Orca drinks for me.
If the bridal party event is it a bridal shower or a hens?
It's a bridal shower.
How late's that going to go?
I don't know, but you're the ones that started at 2:00. I don't know how long y'all are going to last. That's more the question.
Come find us later in the. If your thing ends, come find us later in the evening.
I'll let you know.
I'll do it on the Spur Medal Award if you do that. That'd be great.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right. So that's happening. If you're in Melbourne, please be there. Would love to see you. We'll be on next week for the Sydney finale. And until then, myself, Dani, and our newly crowned Orca shall dance.
Is this how you do it?
Yeah, be my shoulders. Get your body into it, baby. That's it. Well then.